If you're a coach, consultant, mentor, or even agency owner, in this video, I'm going to break down how you can build a high converting Instagram funnel for your coaching or service based business. Now, it doesn't matter what niche you're in, you could be in property, health, you can be in fitness, regardless of what niche you're in. This is going to apply to you, and I hope that by the end of this video, there's at least something you can take away and implement into your funneling process right now that's going to make you a ton more money every single month or year. So, let's just dive straight into it. First things first, I see a lot of people making funneling mistakes right off the bat from their profile. I see I have this very lovely drawing of an Instagram profile, but a lot of people have a landing page, obviously not landingpage.com, but they have that landing page in their bio, which obviously just goes to something like this that is opened up through the Instagram browser, which here's the actual issue with that. The issue is that people click this link and it opens up not in Safari, not in Google Chrome, it opens it up in the Instagram browser. Now, why is that an issue? Because the Instagram browser glitches out. If people have to type in their contact information, sometimes it glitches out. It doesn't really work, especially if you have like Loom videos or something like that. I have found that Loom videos actually glitch out on the Instagram browser. Hence, I would highly not recommend doing it. Now, you could deep link it. However, another issue I have with that is that people that come from your Instagram content, let's say you're posting Instagram Reels or you're running ads, the issue with that is that a lot of people aren't actually sold on who you are, what problem you solve, and I guess how good your product actually is and whether it works. Why? Because they're on that app for the wrong reason. They're on that app to scroll, to waste the time, to not really learn, not to really educate themselves. People aren't on there to try to make more money, unless they're obviously running a business through Instagram themselves. But nonetheless, people aren't on Instagram, or at least consumers aren't on Instagram to learn. They're on there to scroll, to waste time. And it's a distraction at the end of the day, right? Another big mistake that I see people doing is they have a link tree in their bio. I see a lot of fitness coaches doing this. I see a lot of property coaches, a lot of health coaches doing this. And in my opinion, it's a big, big mistake. Why? Because your audience has, what the hell? Why is that circle all the way down there? Your audience has decision fatigue. And if you click on the link tree and you have like 8 different options, what that's going to do is that's going to make them choose nothing. And I see a lot of people, they have like 1 offer, 2 offers, 3 offers in their link tree. Like, how am I, as your potential prospect who wants to buy from you, am supposed to choose which offer I should go for? Not only does that complicate things for you as a business owner, having to run 3 different offers, that also complicates it for the person trying to buy because they click on your link tree and now they're brought to a page where they can pick between a $27 offer, a $197 offer, and a $997 offer. If you want to sell something like a $27 product or a $197 product, you're better off creating a tripwire funnel where people opt in for the $27. As soon as they opt in, they can get upsold straight to the $197. And then if they buy the $197, they get upsold to the $997. And that would be a lot smarter because that is just a funnel. You know, a funnel just goes in one direction. It goes down like this, and of course you have the value ladder, right? So that's how the best way, if you want to have the 3 different offers, that's the best way you could possibly funnel it. And that's what I do for a lot of my clients. We implement low ticket funnels where, you know, if they want to make the most of their audience, let's say a lot of the audiences can't afford $5,000, we will create a low ticket funnel to where the audience can buy the $27, they can buy the, let's say, $197, and then they could potentially buy the $997 if they have the money and the capacity to get like one-on-one access to the business owner. But the main problem I have with Linktrees is, I mean, of course, this is just a website for Linktree, is it just gives you multiple options. And what that does to your audience is it just creates decision fatigue. You don't want your audience sitting there on that page thinking which option to press on because you have the American Express referral, then you have like your property website, and then you also have a random referral link to one of your Airbnbs or something like that. And then you also have 3 different offers from like 3 different coaching programs that you own. It just makes things so complicated. The whole point of a funnel is to literally go from A to B to C. Like if I just go into this page right here, you have the VSL funnel. You have the opt-in. It goes from the opt-in to the VSL or the video page. From the video page, you go to application page, and from the application page, you go to a confirmation page. It's just 1, 2, 3, and 4. Very simple. You have systems on the side that will get them, you know, going from opt-in to video. And then if they don't go from video to application, there are email sequences that get them to go from video to application. And if they fill in the application or they don't get brought to the confirmation page, you know, they get followed up in the email sequence to check out the confirmation page, because a lot of people miss that too. And that's just from a previous video of mine. So if you want to give that a watch, feel free to also give it a watch. It's just on my channel as well. But the right way to funnel it, and this is how I've done it for a lot of my clients, and this is, I think, what's working best as of right now. Today's 15th of April 2025, and it's funneling people to your YouTube channel. Now here's the deal: you don't want to be funneling people to just a channel, like through just a regular YouTube link. You don't want to be having a YouTube link to a specific video. What you want to do is you want to deep link it. Now, Matas, why do we deep link it? Earlier, I mentioned about the Instagram browser, right? We don't want it glitching out. And the problem is if you don't deep link your YouTube videos, what usually occurs is people go into your YouTube channel and they can't subscribe, they can't like your videos, they can't leave a comment, they can't save it to watch later, they can't do anything. So you're just kind of burning yourself a bridge here for a potential prospect because you didn't deep link it. Now, how do you deep link it? And what even is a deep link? A deep link is, if I could show you right now. Oops. Yep, here we go. A deep link is like this in my bio right here. So it's just a link right like that. And once you click it, it goes straight to my YouTube channel. And the way this works is that it allows the prospects to, as soon as they click on this link, regardless of whether on their phone, their tablet, their iPad, or even their computer, it goes straight to your YouTube on the actual app. It opens it up in app, which is the whole point. If you want to implement this, I'm gonna leave a link in the description where you can just deep link it. It's so easy. You just go and link tw.in, and then all you do is just add a link. You paste one of these links. So let's say I want to go here. I can paste. Oh, you actually can't see it. It's at the top of the screen. If I can move my screen down real quick, you could see it right here, right? All I do is just copy this, and then I go back and I paste it into linktw.in, where I'll be able to get a different link, which is going to be, it's going to look something like this, and then I'll be able to put that in my bio. Now what that does, as I said, is it will take them to your YouTube videos. Now, I'm not going to show the YouTube channel because we're just going to be wasting time here. I don't want to make this as concise as possible, but in every single one of your YouTube videos, in the description, you want to have a link to the landing page. So, for example, this is a video that I've done on a previous person. And it's like, if you're an entrepreneur who's stuck at a revenue ceiling and you can 2 to 5x in using blah, 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 blah. And then obviously the link to, so you're just kind of pointing out a pain or a desire or a final outcome that they want, and then saying, this will help you. I see a lot of people saying, like, sign your next 5 to 10 clients. This is how you're going to, guarantee X, Y, Z. This is how you make $10,000 a month. And then they'll put the actual link. I'm not going to expose the link just because I don't want to do that for privacy purposes. But yeah, it'll take them to the landing page. And then here's another lovely drawing of a landing page. Of course, you will have the subheadline, you'll have the headline, and then you have usually just a smaller headline as well. And then you have the actual video with a button. It doesn't have to say access. I just wrote access for no reason. But from here, obviously they go to the application, and then whether they book in for a call or they submit the application via Typeform, they get taken to a confirmation page right after that. But it doesn't end here. Essentially, the funnel that we have is where you go from Instagram to YouTube with a deep link. Remember this. So actually, let me write this in real quick. With a deep link, okay? We want to deep link this. If we don't deep link this, we already ruin this whole part in of itself. We want to be deep linking it. If we don't deep link it, we're wasting time, because a lot of people are going to go onto YouTube on the Instagram browser and they're going to get lost. They're not going to be marked as unique viewers. And matter of fact, they're not going to comment, they're not going to like, and they're not going to be able to subscribe because they're not in the YouTube app and signed into their accounts. The apps are there for a reason. However, if you're thinking, all right, Matas, so is this it for the video? Not exactly, because there are different ways to convert on Instagram. And this is where we go into the nitty gritties, right? We have the Instagram story processes. These are sequences that I recommend following. And especially if you're a B2C coach, this is going to be so helpful. You want to post casual Instagram stories. You want to be posting credibility Instagram stories, and you want to post call to action Instagram stories. Now, casual, I've actually covered this in previous videos, but casuals are very easy. Just good morning, gents, is literally just me walking. Yeah, I think this was in Tenerife. Another one, just a casual 8:22 in the morning. We're on a private boat, And then there's another one of me literally just walking to some music that my girlfriend actually filmed me do. Then we have credibility, right? We have credibility where I'm throwing up. This is for my own B2C offer that I used to run. I do not run this anymore. Hence, I actually have a proof of concept that I'm able to relay over to you guys. But nonetheless, credibility, I was just throwing up like Maruf, 1,700 euro win. We have Grover Ilias closed over $80,000 in sales in 2 months. We have a video testimonial, and I throw these up from time to time. Sometimes I'll do like, oh, this is our student results haul, and I'll just spam student results that we got in the last week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks. And then lastly, you can also, not always, but always end them off with a call to action. So let's say we did a very, very strong CTA here. A call to action it's in the word. It's basically calling people to take a specific action. So let me just break it down. I've done this very, very aggressive, a very straight to the point call to action story, which was like, this includes legally guaranteed client in 90 days or you don't pay, plus we send you $500 for the inconvenience, one-on-one coaching until you become a sales wizard, 25 plus hours of content on mastering client acquisition, closing, and appointment setting, all of our 6-figure resources that generate our clients over $1 million, like trackers and CRMs, and access to a more intimate network of guys making upwards of $20,000 per month with sales. Reply with inner circle to apply. Now, people reply to inner circle, and I'll tell you what the process is after that. There is another one. If you want to know how these guys were able to get results like these, reply to the story with result, and I'll show you how. And then another one, I can keep going, but I won't spam you lol. But if you want to get results like those guys, reply to the story with I'm in. This will only be available for 24 hours. And obviously adding some urgency here as well. But nonetheless, what happens after they actually reply? Just before I get into that. This is basically the kind of sequence that you want to follow. Now, if you're a coach, literally try this. I've tried this countless times, and it's maybe tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars by this point. Is literally just an algorithm hook, building credibility, and a call to action, Instagram story CTA sequence. This works pretty much every single time. You don't want to spam this all the time, but you want to do it no more than 2 times a month. Really, you don't want to be spamming it too much, because once you spam these, it loses its touch and people stop reacting to it. And I don't know if you've heard the saying, but if you have a lot of something, you stop valuing it. And this is the same thing. If you don't want to turn your Instagram page into like sell. You want to have this Alex Hormozi concept where it's like we give them so much value that they would actually pay for, to where they would actually buy what we actually have behind closed doors. Because if you're giving away so much value, people are like, all right, but he sells something, so I wonder what's behind the closed doors, or the paid doors. And you would create that concept. If you're constantly just selling, it won't sell, because people will just catch on that, okay, this guy, all he does is an Instagram profile is literally just try to sell everybody. So you don't want to get to that point. But what you want to do, I want you to literally copy the sequence into your own business, into your own Instagram stories. Try this out. You will get a bunch of people replying if you have an audience. But all in all, is like you do an algorithm hook. So usually you could start a story with maybe telling a story, or you can do one of these polls, like question, what are they? I think they're just called polls, right? And I literally just asked, would you rather be rich and unhappy or poor and happy? And let people vote. I was getting roughly about 2,000 story viewers. So of course there was a lot of people just engaging with this alone. And then from that, what that tells the algorithm is like, okay, people enjoy the story. They're interacting with it. They're engaging with it. Once they're engaging with it, that tells Instagram that, okay, let's push it out to more people, because clearly people are enjoying it. What you could do, you could post a lifestyle story here. So you could post any of these, because people will like these. People will see these and they're like, damn, that's cool. You could post value. You could post anything as long as it has no CTA. Make sure it doesn't have any links in there or anything like that. Your main objective is to always get people to like your story, or get people to also vote. If you get people to vote or even ask you questions, I see a lot of people like, asking me anything, whether it's personal or business. That one works too. If you could do that, that gets people engaging on the actual story itself. That'll tell Instagram that people are enjoying the story. So therefore, it'll push it out to a high percentage of your audience. Then the next thing you want to do, and these are all consecutively done one after the other. As you see, there's like 10 minutes apart from these. This one's at 15:58. This one's at 4:05, 4:06, 4:06, and then I'll say 4:06 as well. And here, what you want to do is you want to add credibility. You want to build credibility and create desire. So we have, there's one story flex, there's more student results, and there's one more student results. No need to do outreach. I've been here for 3 days, just crazy. And I'll see him driving results. People see this and they're like, damn, I want those results too. So then I followed up with another story consecutively saying, if you want to know how these guys are able to do that, reply to the story with result and I will show you how. So now you've hooked the algorithm into pushing it out to a lot of your audience. People will see this, they'll vote on this. They'll, might find it interesting, funny, even if this is like a lifestyle story, something beautiful, like a beautiful view or a beautiful video of something, people will react to that. They'll be like, ah, that's cool. And then they see the next one where like, okay, one student result, then, oh, okay, another student result. Obviously there's 3 here. And then, oh, another student result. And then they're like, damn, I wish I could get these results. I wonder how these guys are getting these results. And then you answer that question before they even ask it. If you want to know how these guys are able to do it, reply to the story with result and I'll show you how. So what happens after they reply with result? This is the exact DM setting flow that we import into our clients' acquisition systems and conversion systems that allow us to basically book calls on autopilot. You want to get perhaps an SDR or an appointment setter to do these for you. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a guy who just answers your DMs. They follow the exact standard operating procedure that I will break down right here. And he'll just follow that and book in calls whilst you can focus on more important parts of the business. By the way, if you want me to import and install these types of systems, everything I've just broken down here as well, I do the exact same thing for my clients. I'm going to leave a link in the description where you book in for a free one-on-one audit call, no hard pitch, and I can actually take a look at your funnel, see if there's anything I would improve, and see maybe if potentially I could even help with my team as well. So I'm going to leave a link in the description where you could check that out. But nonetheless, this is a 5-phase DM setting flow process. We start with the opening, creating the gap, opportunity, Calendly, and then lastly, booked call, which is like, this is what we want, right? We want this. So obviously P1, P2, P3 to P5, that's just phase, phase 1, phase 2. But also we have this, if we do the opening, I'll break it down exactly how this works. But if we get a specific response, which is, prospect admitting defeat, we skip straight to Calendly, and we could potentially do this. I'll break it down in just a second. So here we are, the setting flow breakdown. First things first, actually, I just realized my face is a little bit in the way, but that's cool. So we start with the opening. They will reply with result, be like, hey, what's up, Brian? What got you interested in this, by the way? They'll usually respond. Now, sometimes they will say, man, I've been trying, let's say this is an online business, like making money online offer. Man, I've been trying business for ages. It hasn't really worked for me. I have some capital built up, just looking to invest into some mentorship, but I've tried everything and nothing is really working whatsoever. And then you can literally just go straight to phase 4. But I'm not going to go into phase 4 just yet. I'm going to break it down in order. Then once he replies saying what, what got him interested and whatnot, then you follow up with a connective and say, all right, so what's your goal at the moment? Where are you trying to take X, Y, Z? You want to be specific, of course. Now, with connectives, if you don't know what I mean by connective, I mean like, gotcha. Makes sense. That's so cool. Okay. Nice. So like, all of these work. Gotcha. So what's your next goal at the moment? Makes sense. So what's your goal next? So what's your next goal at the moment? That's so cool. So what's your next goal at the moment? Okay. So what's your next goal at the moment? You want, the only reason I'm putting connective and not saying exactly what you should say, because honestly, you want to put this into your own business and you don't want to copy exactly what I give to you in this video, because if this gets a lot of views, people are just going to be copy and pasting this and it's going to become ineffective. Sorry, not inefficient. Then we have opportunity. Okay. Obviously, once they've replied to this, then you say like, that's a pretty noble goal for you to reach for. Haha. Have you mapped out a way to get there? Now, this line that I have right here, this is just meaning that these are 2 separate messages. So this is 1 message and this is 2 message. You don't want to be sending this as the same message. So, that's a pretty noble goal to reach for. Haha. Have you mapped out a way to get there? Also notice how I said haha, how I said ATM, how I said BTW, so with 2 O's. I'm saying these because I want to sound human. If I sound very, very formal, businessy, uptight, people will get scared. People will be like, what the hell? For some reason, I feel like people have the stigma to sound so professional when they're speaking to someone regarding business. Sound completely human. Say haha, say lol, say LMAO, say ATM, say, by the way, BTW. Like, of course, don't make your whole message. Like, say like, all right, so, and then WATS. You are, so just this, and then next goal ATM. Obviously type normally, just feel free to add a human touch to it. Don't type like a complete idiot, please don't do that. Then once they've replied to that, have they mapped out a way to get there? Usually they will say like, no, they haven't. And if they haven't, then you reply saying, I wonder if I can help you solve that exact problem or achieve XYZ desire. Actually, That was meant to be a little crocodile here. Would it make sense to jump on a quick call to see if I can help? And then they'll usually reply with like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. And then of course you send over the Calendly. Now, once they have booked in for a call, if they don't book in for a call, keep following up. Do at least like 6 to about 8 follow-ups before you just kind of lose grip. Do it every 48 hours or so. Don't spam them every single day or a couple times a day. But then once they've actually booked in, you want to start the nurturing process. Now, what I usually do for a lot of my clients, especially B2C, is you just want to send over like one of your YouTube videos or a YouTube interview. YouTube interviews help a ton. And that'll give them more clarity on you and how your company operates, while also educating and hyping them up before the call. Now, why is this important? I earlier in the video spoke about, obviously, I'm not going to cover YouTube videos. I think if you're a coach, you should be posting YouTube videos. Because people, as I said, are on Instagram for the wrong reasons. And people go on YouTube to actually learn. When you're stuck on something, how to build a system, probably the reason you're watching this video is because you came to YouTube to learn. Perhaps my video got recommended to you, or you searched it up and my video just popped up at the top. YouTube, people go on YouTube to learn. And if you're not a coach posting on YouTube, you better start, because it's going to get you the best leads. It's going to waste you the least amount of time. I have a lot of coaches that I've dealt with who don't post on YouTube, and then they get on calls and they wonder why the clients waste their time and they leave calls and they lie and they have no money. Well, why? Because you're attracting, honestly, a bunch of idiots. You're going to be attracting the people who are actually serious about their life and about changing their life circumstances to where they've found you for a reason, for a bigger purpose. Now, let me just quickly butt in to tell you that I'm not saying that Instagram organic content does not work. I know plenty of guys doing over $100,000 per month with just organic content, not even YouTube. However, if you're a coach and you're making less than $20,000, $30,000 a month, you cannot go wrong with posting on YouTube, because again, people are on there for the right reasons, and that's obviously where you're converting them from. So without YouTube, none of this will work. But I highly recommend getting YouTube interviews up, YouTube videos up. That will give them more clarity and get them hyped up to what you have, and will most importantly make them problem aware and solution aware. Once they're these two, they will want to buy from you. And let's just quickly track back for a second. All of these stories, you want to post these very, very often. So these especially, like, the casual ones, and then also the credibility ones, you want to post them pretty often, because you want to, give people the fact that you're, if you're a normal person, and you also give people the feeling that you are credible. You don't want to do these often. You don't want to do this often, but you want to do these very, very often, because it'll tell people that you are an authority in your space and that you are actually a human. If you're just posting credibility, and you don't do any casual, people will start to see you as a bit of a just, seller on Instagram, rather than someone who is actually trying to influence and point them in the right direction. But nonetheless, this is basically the entire Instagram funneling system. If you want me to go into more depth on setting processes and how to get actual people, how to hire and train people to set and close deals for you as well, leave it in the comments below. But apart from that, if you're looking to work with me, if you're looking for me to install these types of systems into your business and you're a coach, agency owner, consultant, as I said, there's a link in the description where you can check out to get a free one-on-one audit from me. I'll have a look at your funnel and see whether I can actually help you and see what you could potentially change anyways. But apart from that, that's the end of the video. I appreciate you watching until the end, and I'll see you in the next one.